Hi everyone, it's April here and welcome back to another art video. Today I've got a little speed paint in Procreate with my character Belle here, who I first drew in Inktober last year, and I thought I would draw Belle in lockdown. And what is Belle doing in lockdown? She's not helping out any ghosts, no, she's learning how to play the ukulele. So I did a few different sketches in my sketchbook and I really liked this one here, which is like the girl dancing. So I popped it into Procreate and I got going. So firstly I popped my sketch of Belle into Procreate and I tried to kind of shift it around to make it basically like cheat, I guess, and make it look like the sketch, but it really wasn't working, so I just decided to use my Belle character as a reference and redraw it. And I think this turned out a lot better than if I was to just kind of like push around the old sketch, which would have looked a lot stiffer. So I just used her for reference and to make sure I got the measurements right. Her head is quite large and her body is quite short, so I wanted to make sure I got her right so she kind of looked like the original character. And I did try and put her in pajamas and I was going to give her a little bear onesie, but without her hair you really just couldn't tell who it was. And the reason why I wanted to draw Belle playing the ukulele is because while we've been in lockdown, I've been learning the ukulele. I've actually had it for a few months now, but I just decided to pick it up a few weeks ago and I've been practicing every day, and right now I'm learning how to play Somewhere Over the Rainbow, which is quite fun. Having a little bit of trouble with a couple of chords, but I'm gonna get there. So I thought it would be nice to kind of draw, not myself, because who wants to see that? I thought I'd draw Belle because I quite like her as a character, and I actually really enjoyed drawing her like this because when I was doing Inktober, I came up with a sketch at the start and that's kind of the design I kept the entire way through. And looking back at the sketches now and the Inktober pieces, I think it's quite stiff and she's not like very fun. But drawing her like this, where she's like having a lot of fun and she's dancing and her hair's going all over the place, I thought was pretty cool. And I wanted to put her in some nice comfy clothes, so I gave her some rabbit slippers, which I didn't know how to draw, so I had to look them up on Google. It didn't really help me because they don't really have cartoon rabbit shoes on Google, just regular rabbit shoes. So I just kind of made it up as I went along and I think it looks okay. And then I kept her big jumper on because I think that's quite a big part of her character when I first drew her. And then I changed up her pants, so instead of wearing like little trousers, she's wearing pajamas. And then this is the most difficult part. So I wanted to obviously draw her in colour, but because I've only ever drawn her in Inktober, I've only ever drawn her black and white, and I have literally no idea what colours to put her in. And so we begin the journey to find out what colours Belle's gonna wear. So I gave her green hair for some reason. In the images I just looked up there, you can see I gave her black hair, so obviously not green, but I was just having fun at this point. And that's the best thing about Procreate and digital art in general, is that you can change things really quickly. So obviously if I was doing this in gouache or coloured pencil, I'd have to go over it again, paint over or erase it or start again. But because it's in Procreate, you can just put down whatever colour you want and then worry about it later. So Belle's original character had a ghost on her jumper because Belle is a ghost hunter, but the ukulele hides that, so I wanted to still keep ghosts around. So I added these little ghosts to the pajamas and I did two separate variations and I made them into a little pattern. So this was super fun. I actually had pajamas that had little pandas on like this, kind of very similar, that I had to throw away because they were getting very old. So this brought back pajama memories. They were the best pajamas and I haven't been able to find pajamas like them. And then we get to the best part, which is making the ukulele. So I did model this one on my one that I have at home, which is a Fender, but I wanted it to be really fun for Belle, so I gave her the SpongeBob SquarePants ukulele, which I think is really fun because the first song I learnt during lockdown was the Fun song by SpongeBob SquarePants, and it's the first song I've ever been able to play and sing at the same time. Pretty impressive, I know. So I decided to give her that and it's a little bit of fun. And then I did the shadows, the highlights, and after this she's kind of basically done, apart from spending about 7 hours deciding which colours to give her. So I don't go through that entire process. I actually stopped recording my screen because I was just spending so much time on this. And that's the bad thing about digital art. You can literally spend so long on it because you have so many choices. So it's really a balance of kind of having all that unlimited brush options, color options, blending modes, and then knowing when to stop. And sometimes it's not perfect, you're still not happy with it. Like at the end, I still wasn't super happy with the colors that I chose and the background and everything, but you just have to stop at some point. You can't keep going and going. And the brush I'm using for this Procreate is the dry ink brush, which is found in the ink category. I have been doing the Procreate every brush challenge, which is where I try and use every brush in Procreate, and it's actually been quite helpful because it's shown me a few brushes that I probably wouldn't have used otherwise, and that includes this one here, which is the dry brush. So if you guys have Procreate and you haven't tried it, give it a go because it's got a really lovely texture and it's quite nice to draw with, especially if you like doing varied line art. You can get quite a nice look to it. And then we begin trying to put a background in. So I actually wanted to do a rainbow to begin with because she's singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I changed her hair colour, but this was looking super busy. Even though I love it, I think it was looking a little bit busy and I wanted Belle to be the main focus. So I ended up deleting it. And you can see on the ukulele there is her bird friend, Baguette, who is a ghost. So unfortunately I just kind of slipped back into old habits and I did a circle in the background, a little bit of shadow and some dots. I think it turned out quite nice in the end, but something that I really want to focus on in the future is working on backgrounds. But that is all for today, so I hope that you enjoyed that little speed paint, and let me know below if you play the ukulele too, or if you're learning, and maybe we can have a chat about SpongeBob songs. And that is all for me. Have a lovely week and I will see you on my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.